Ryan. Shelton has been sitting in. Now, big story. What was the big story of the week, do you think, Ryan? What one took your fancy?
Well, I mean, this Kevin Rudd MySpace, the John Howard is the old man, Kevin Rudd's the young man. It's possibly quite a big story, I would have thought.
Yeah.
Something bigger.
Drugs. Well, there was that joke that Daniel Johns attempted. Did you see that?
Oh, yeah, with Peter Garrett.
Did you see Peter Costello address that on the 7:30 report? Check this out.
Mr. Costello, there's been some suggestion this week that our presence in Iraq has perhaps more to do with oil than with any... If I could cut in there, Kerry, I mean, that'd have to come as news to our troops stationed over there. I don't think that's the reason they've, bravely decided to lay down their lives. I mean, it's a very cynical way of looking at things.
All right, fair enough.
What about what's going on in the Northern Territory? I mean, your government has come in for a fair bit of criticism. Criticism? I don't think, criticism is perhaps the most healthy thing to be offering our boys and girls in Iraq. I mean, how would they feel? Okay, well, let's maybe turn to the polls. I mean, you must be disappointed in the polls. Okay, let's hit our brave young girls and boys in Iraq with the polls now. Let's bash them over the head with the figures. Well, I can see we're getting nowhere here. Now, this incident with Daniel Johns and Peter Garrett, I mean, you've mentioned that. Obviously, that's been exposed as a joke. Well, now... let's call drugs a joke. Yeah, that's a good idea, Kerry. Let's have a bit of comedy at the expense of crack babies. Is that what Kevin Rudd would like to do now? I'm not sure that Kevin Rudd was implicated in Mr. Johns' attempt at humour. Well, I think, it has to be asked, is it funny to have a bloke sitting on the front bench dancing around like a spastic in old video clips, clearly under the influence of jazz cigarettes, in thrall to Dame Heroin? Oh, I don't think there's any suggestion that Peter Garrett is involved in heroin. Well, is there a suggestion that he's not? Kerry, that's the thing. Once you get these druggies into Parliament and look at them, the front bench is riddled with... What are you talking about? Wayne Swan. I mean, that bloke looks pretty glassy-eyed to me. I've heard he's been knocking back the old Timothy Leary kerosene. Right. I've heard that Simon Crean can barely go 4 or 5 minutes without wolfing down a few hooker pipes filled with bed straw, as he likes to say. Okay, yep. Jenny Macklin. Right. I mean, she's clearly been... knocking back the zoot juice, the flower of ragweed, the hate Ashbury salad, I believe they call it, over in I'm sorry, on the opposition benches. I mean, is that who you want in charge of our children? The young boys and girls in Baghdad are fighting for freedom? Oh, gee, Kerry, if that's what you want to call good policy, then sure. Let's let Julia Gillard and her flea-bane cigar... Mr. Costello, you seem very... au fait with the terminology here. I've not heard that. I mean, who wouldn't be, Kerry? When you're staring at it across the house every day, you can see them. Yeah. There's Lindsay Tanner, doing lines of the old Gatsby detergent, I think they call it. Okay, look, you've lost me. Arch Beavis knocking back some of the old Helsinki battery acid on. Sorry, look, I don't understand a word you're saying. Are you sure you don't need to be drug tested, Mr. Costello? Look, I'm quite happy to be tested at any moment. Look, here. There you go. Stick a thermometer up there and see what you get, Kerry. Well, I don't know that that's exactly how one tests for presence of marijuana. Whop it up there. See what you find. And I'll tell you what you'll find. Solid economic policy. And if you want to go over to the other side, I'll tell you what you'll find. Death and misery and deadly nightshade being injected directly into the eyeball by Peter Garrett. Right. Anthony Albanese's there tying them off. You've got Tony Burke coming in with horse trank for everybody. Well, I don't think we've got time for any more revelations. Well, if you can't handle the truth, Kerry, I mean, maybe you need to be tested. Well, I'm quite happy to be tested, Mr. Treasurer, but would you mind putting your pants back on? I saw Stephen Conroy trying to smuggle a boogie board into the upper house the other day.
Thank you, Mr. Treasurer, and thank you, Richard Marsland, for supplying those obscure drug terms.
What a revealing interview. Amazing.
None as disturbing as the phrase Arch Beavis.